We're back again with another chapter this week. Chapter 165, the final group. We finally had some answers to some long-awaited questions, or at least long for us. So let's not dilly-dally, let's get right into it. We start off chapter 165, the final group, with not a cover page, but just the first page. We see Donnie going up to Gawain after the battle was over, saying that all of them made it to the final 16. Gawain is having a little bit of a good jab at him, saying, "Wow, an underling like you too? Talk about sheer dumb luck." Wait, what? What did you say? I heard you. An announcement is made, with everyone turning towards the sky. Now, all of you, turn your attention toward the sky. Everyone looks up to see a giant round knight in the sky. Everyone freaking out that someone so huge is up there, but Gawain just says that it's gotta be illusionary magic, right? The knight announces that congrats on surviving up to this point. You fought tremendously well. My name is Caperdonchi, I think that's how you say it, and I will be your referee and emcee for this gladiator festival. You will be given a rest break overnight so you can fight for tomorrow's main battle. But before then, I'd like all 16 of you to state your names for me, please. And so we have our final 16. Percival, Hauser, Naciens, Gareth. Wait a minute, what? Gareth, that's your name? Oh boy, we'll come back to him later. Gawain, Isolde, Chion, Anglahad, and I'm sorry, I can't pronounce her real name. Pelio. It's Peliotis. Gawain's opponent is Bolin, Donnie, Tantris, Diodora, and his friends Roths, Turret, and the last guy just saying mystery package. Okay, I'm just gonna say it right now. It's totally Gother. This is definitely Gother. It has to be. I mean, come on. Hauser, Pelio, and Edlin all came from Leonis into Camelot for this. It's gotta be him. Plus, if they're going up against one of the four evils, they're gonna need a 7 deadly sin with them. I mean, he did technically fight against the Green Knight during the post-time skip, so it makes sense. The knight announces, "All right, thank you very much. We will pick our matchups at random and announce them to you later on." Everyone is then teleported back to the base of the towers in quite an instant. You gotta love teleportation magic, right? The knight announces to them, "Look next to the tower premises. Lord Bellatrip has been generous enough to provide you a whole underground town for you. Winners and losers may eat and drink their fill. Rest well and prepare to fight or watch tomorrow's epic battle." All the prisoners who participated in the fight are now bandaged up and are now having their much-deserved meal. Because let's face it, if you're gonna face the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse and other prisoners, you're lucky to be alive. They're being served by the Empties. If you remember, they are these weird robotic soldiers that serve them. Apparently, not only do they serve as soldiers, but they're now chefs. Everyone is having their fill, and the Empties are hard at work preparing them their, let's assume, their final meals. Okay, so all of us made it to the final cut of the main battle. But doesn't that seem kind of like a letdown? Anne is telling them it's not really a hellscape, she says in quotes, as the rumors paint it out, I'd say. It's not like we're waist deep in the dead, and the food certainly doesn't seem to be of an issue. While she is disappointed that this dungeon isn't a nightmare, everyone is starting to pick out their orders. Percival wants a large order of the Anifwin pot, Donnie wants beer, and Gawain, of course, wants supersized pudding. God, now I'm hungry. Joining in on their conversation is, you've guessed it, I mean, you probably know, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. But there's no getting out of here. They neither kill you nor let you live, for Anifwin will feed upon your every desire to live or escape. Everyone is shocked and surprised to see Chion and Isolde after such a long time and after the separation. Isolde cheerfully says that she is glad to see that Donnie and Naciens have come with Anne, and to their surprise, so did Percival. I'm sorry, I love I can't get over everyone's expressions to seeing Percival the walking corpse. They stutter, Percival the life spirit, all while he's just in his chibi form munching down on food. And of course, you can't have the Leonis team gathering up without Hauser coming in to say, "Hey, you all made it, huh?" I never doubted it. Everyone's surprised to see that Hauser made it, especially his nephew, Donnie. Hauser says to Isolde and Chion, "My, you've both grown splendidly, haven't you? Your dad's worrying about you, Chion." But they don't think that that's important right now, besides, Percival the walking corpse, wondering if he's really there and if he's real. Hauser smirks, saying, "Of course he is, you bet. He only woke up a few days ago," with Edlin saying, "Yeah, just to save my life just now." Donnie asks if Edlin's in this too, but he says, "No, I lost." Donnie's friend just points out to Pelio, saying that he managed to squeak his way into the final 16. But Peliodas is not taking any of this and whacks him, saying, "I did not squeak my way in, you. Come on, Boris, you say something too." But Boris is not doing so well, saying that he just wants to crawl into a hole and die. And after what happened with the preliminary round, I don't blame him. With everyone gathered, Percival announces, "Well, we're in the middle of reassembling the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse, and we came here cause we found that Tristan was in Anafwin." Gawain, chewing on her pudding, also adds on to the conversation, "Right, but when we met him, he was all like, 'My name is Tantris,' and pretended not to know us. All kinds of other nonsense too. What the heck happened to him?" Gawain goes back to her pudding, with Donnie asking them, "I don't know if we can help him or whatever, but can we at least talk? Cause he can't stay like that forever, right?" Chion is furious, and Isolde is just sad. And here, we finally get an answer as to what happened all those years ago. Chion explains, "Prince Tristan, Isolde, and we had just embarked upon our undercover mission to Camelot. There, we did something that we should not have. We saw bizarre things happen in Camelot. We had lost something precious in our own reality, and so we tried to escape it." These dire words shook everyone up, and asking, "You mean?" And we cut to a flashback. Everyone is in their pre-time skip form. Chion is explaining their side of the story. Yes, we wished for him to come back. Jade. They wished for Jade to come back. He materialized, asking, "Isolde? Chion? Prince Tristan? And Chion grabs his shirt, crying to himself, "Why are you so stupid?" Man, I have never seen Chion so weak before. I think this is the first time I've seen him cry. Seeing and hearing Jade, something we never expected to do again, brought us all to tears. All we could do was praise the miracle that Camelot had brought to us. We see the group doing some friendly activities. Jade is pointing Tantris in the right direction with some kind of map. Chion and Jade are sparring. Jade saved Isolde from falling to her death. We were still Team Tristan, defenders of Britannia. We kept fighting the Chaos Knights we found. But as we did, our minds began to wonder if Camelot truly deserved fall after all. The group lays down by a campfire after a long day, and Isolde asks, "Once things calm down, Jade, why don't you return to Leonis with us and let Mom and Dad see you?" Jade looks confused. He asks, "What were my parents like again? Huh? How would asking me help, man? Don't be silly, you used to brag about them all the time." And that's when things start to take a turn. But one day, it finally dawned on us. Anything we didn't know about Jade, neither did he. We cut to another memory with Jade being asked, "What I tried to tell you back in Wolneck when I stepped up to defend you?" This Jade says that he's sorry, but he doesn't recall any of that. This Jade was nothing more than their own hearts and memories reflected back at them. Jade starts to freak out, saying, "Why are there all these things that I can't remember? This is weird, right? Don't just stand there. Say something. Can't you, Chion? Tristan?" And we cut to Jade fading away. Like Thanos snapped his fingers and everyone is furious. The Jade that they thought was back was only a fake, a hollow shell. Their memories and emotions manifested, but it wasn't Jade. Camelot tricked them, and for their punishment, were dropped into a hole. Isolde explains that the rage and despair for Camelot they felt then erased that vision of Jade and plunged them into Anafwin. That was their punishment for believing in Camelot, even for a moment. And it's distraught, saying, no, if we ever really did lose Percival, we'd have done the same thing, I'm sure. And I believe it. If they knew that Percival really was dead, he was really gone, I think they would have done the same thing. They would have envisioned Percival with them whenever they were on their adventures in Camelot to do the same thing. In another flashback, Isolde explains that she found Chion pretty quickly and they had to track down Tristan. And it was hard, much harder. But by the time they finally did, over 1 year later, Tristan had found his new Isolde and called himself Tantris, not Tristan, and had no idea who they were. Isolde explains that Tantris is the alias Prince Tristan assumed whenever he was working undercover. Oh my god, what? And it's sad, but Percival and Donnie seem to have the same reaction I did upon this news. They mock, isn't Tantris like the most obvious fake name in the world for him? Donnie looking like he's a Canadian from South Park. Yeah, that name sucks too, gay. You two over there can just shut up, Anne yells. I'm sorry, Anne, but no. Tantris is just such a stupid fake name. I mean, come on. Seriously, Tantris? I have to agree with Canadian Donnie over there. It's so dumb. Hauser tells them that for now, they should just rest for tomorrow. But Percival is, of course, hungry and wants to eat a little more, with Nasians remarking, he has a 2-year-old's appetite, huh? Hey, speak for yourself, Nasians. No one should ever resist good food. Percival is off to get some seconds. He wants to try everything during the festival, but he runs into Gareth. And that's how we end chapter 165, the final group. Okay, so this answered a couple of questions. What were Tristan and his friends doing on their own in Camelot? How did they get separated? Why is Tristan being called Tantris? Okay, well that one is not exactly fully explained, but we do have a hint as to why he's called Tantris. A stupid reason, but still kind of a reason. I don't blame Tristan and his friends for missing their friend. It's all part of the mourning process, and going into a world that is supposed to bring someone you love dearly back to life is not exactly the best way of getting through grieving. And like I said, I would have believed that Anne and Donnie, if they thought that Percival really was gone forever, they would have done the same thing. Now, as for why Tristan is, now calling himself that, and who is this Isolde, we don't know. I'm hoping for a flashback chapter sometime in the future. And as for Gareth, Gareth is not named after booze or a booze factory, much like a lot of these Seven Deadly Sin characters, but because Gareth is actually a real Arthurian character. Gareth is one of the Knights of the Round Table. He is Arthur's nephew. And you know who else is Arthur's nephew? Gawain! Yeah, in Legends, Gareth is Gawain's brother. So, this is going to be interesting. Is there going to be some sort of weird connection between Gareth and Gawain? We're going to find out next week. And if you love Seven Deadly Sins and Four Knights of the Apocalypse material, subscribe to the Anime Underworld, and hopefully we can get a chapter review out next week. This has been Dante from the Anime Underworld. I'll see you later, mortals.